a tale of wit, wisdom, and the power of words in the heart of ancient Baghdad. During the golden age of the Abbasid Caliphate, the city glowed like a jewel under the sun. Knowledge blossomed in its streets, traders traveled from distant lands, and scholars debated in every corner. Poetry was the language of the soul. Music echoed in the night air, and storytelling was as precious as gold. But not every man admired poetry, and not every word was welcome. This is the story of a poet whose words were sharper than swords, and a judge whose silence was louder than thunder. It is the story of Abu Nuwas and the forbidden poem. Baghdad was more than a city. It was a dream woven with wisdom, spices, perfumes, and books. In its markets you could buy a silk robe, cure an illness, find a philosopher, or hear a poem that could change your life. Among the people of Baghdad, there was one name known by everyone, a name that made some admire and others frown, a name that stirred curiosity wherever it was spoken. Abu Nuwas. His real name was Al-Hazen ibn Hani, but very few used it. They called him the Master of Words. He was witty, charming, wise, unpredictable, and sometimes controversial. He wrote poetry that made people laugh, poetry that made them cry, and poetry that challenged the rules of society. His words traveled faster than the wind. From royal palaces to common markets, from scholars to street vendors. But fame often creates enemies. And in Baghdad, one of his strongest critics was a man of great authority, a man whose judgment could change destinies. His name was Judge Abdul-Jabbar. Judge Abdul-Jabbar was famous across the city. Tall, strict, and always serious. He believed that poetry was dangerous, for it could twist emotions and turn truths into illusions. His courtroom was a place of order, law, and silence, a fortress where poetry dared not enter. People said that the judge had not smiled in many years. Some joked that his heart was made of stone. Others believed he simply feared laughter, because laughter could weaken authority. The judge declared that poetry had no place in his court, and so no poet dared to enter. No poet, except one. One morning, the people of Baghdad gathered in the judge's court. They came with complaints, disputes, and legal troubles. The judge sat on his high chair, his eyes heavy with authority. Suddenly, the doors of the courtroom opened. All heads turned. A man entered, wearing a calm smile and confident steps. His eyes were sharp, his hands relaxed behind his back. Whispers followed him like shadows. "That is Abu Nuwas. Is he mad? The judge hates poetry. He will be punished for sure." But Abu Nuwas stood firmly at the center of the hall and bowed respectfully. "Honorable judge," he said, "I have come to recite a poem. But I must warn you, it is a forbidden poem." The judge's eyes sparkled with anger. "Forbidden? Then it shall not be spoken," the judge declared. But Abu Nuwas replied gently, "Can a man be punished for something he has not said yet?" The court fell silent. The judge hesitated, and for the first time in many years, he was curious. "Very well," the judge said slowly. "You may speak, but only one line. If it is inappropriate, you will be removed immediately." Abu Nuwas bowed and spoke with elegance. "O noble judge, I come with respect in my heart. But when a poem is spoken, the world may fall apart." The judge studied him carefully. There was no insult, no disrespect. So he said, "What do you mean?" Abu Nuwas continued, "I know the hearts of people, even when they hide. And sometimes a poem is stronger than law applied." People in the hall began smiling, but the judge tried to stay calm. Something strange was happening. The judge felt like his heart was listening. "Abu Nuwas, continued his poem. Justice and wisdom are brothers in the night, but poetry is the candle that brings them light. Law may guide the people with reason and might, but the heart needs beauty to know what is right. A gentle wave of awe filled the room. Even the guards seemed moved. The judge stared into the poet's eyes. He wanted to remain strict. He wanted to show power, but the words were stronger than pride. Abu Nuwas said softly, "If every smile is banned, and every poem denied, then justice becomes empty, and the heart slowly dried." Silence filled the courtroom. A powerful silence. A silence that meant something had changed. The judge tried not to smile. He failed. A small, brief, almost invisible smile appeared. But it was real. With a voice softer than usual, the judge said, "Your poem may be forbidden, but forbidding joy, that is the real forbidden thing." The people erupted in laughter and applause. The courtroom had never felt so alive. Abu Nuwas bowed, turned, and walked out of the court. Victorious. No chains, no punishment. Only respect. And a quiet smile upon the judge's face. That night, the people of Baghdad spoke of only one thing: how a single poem changed the mood of a judge. How a few words broke years of silence. How a poet defeated fear, not with anger, but with beauty. Abu Nuwas said to his friends, "The strongest sword is not made of steel, it is made of words. Spoken at the right time, to the right heart." And from that day on, they said, "A wise poet is stronger than 1,000 warriors." And even the judge accepted that sometimes poetry is justice. Words can change hearts, and hearts can change the world. Like, subscribe, and let words inspire your day.